Hello and welcome back to my sewing box. I have a set of drapes to make for one window. It's pinch pleats, but it's the 2-finger pinch pleats. It looks like the French pleats with 3, but it's just the 2 because the rest of the house already has some and it has to match. So I think they're like 110 inches long. So I have to leave this extension up to do those. And I'll let you follow along. It's like sew with me. It's not going to be a how-to, which you can watch and learn if you would like. I know my videos are really long with the sewing, but I'm not really sure how to edit out parts. So it's kind of just follow along and watch me and give you something to do, especially if you're kind of shut in and don't have nothing to do, or if you used to like to sew and want to watch, or I don't know, just people that want to watch, kill time. I think I'm gonna try to have every step that I do in them. This one is the ivory fabric. Ivory is the drapes. So this is like linen ivory. It's very pretty. I need to figure out how much I need to cut this because on my drapes, they're 110 inches long. I've got to add, I do a double 4-inch hem, so that's 8 inches I need to do. So 110 plus 8 inches, and then I do 4 inches to turn down the top to cover up my 4-inch crinoline. The crinoline keeps the shape of my pleats and holds that when I sew it down. Here's my blackout. This is the right side. It normally comes on a roll, but I bought this at Hobby Lobby. These drapes and 2 Roman shades, which I'm not doing the 2 Roman shades today, just the full width of drapes. Two of them together. And just make sure, I'll put a pin right there, which I know that's the outside, that'll be the top. blackout or suede or any kind of lining, you can have a silicone spray and kind of spray a little bit if it doesn't want to slide across, but I usually don't have no problems. So the lining's ready to turn up a single hem, and then it'll be ready to table. So now I'm going to sew up the fabric. So that's the up. So I'm going to grab the bottom. I'll start out. So my bottom will be even and my hems will be even. I put my pressure foot even with the selvage so it doesn't show any of that holes or anything. So it's further over than a ½ inch probably, but you don't want any of those holes or anything or that line to show. So if you put it even with that, you'll be good. And it won't puff or anything like that. And it'll be straight. This one's ready for a hem. Bottom. Up next to the selvage, back tag, the string, and you're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to turn up my hem and my lining, and since it is blackout, I do a single hem. And I'm just going to top stitch it. But I'm just going to put a few this way. And I'm not really going to press a lot. I'm just going to kind of press it down on my hand because it's not going anywhere. got one more panel, Blackout. Okay, now we're doing the fabric, which is like a white lining. It should all fit here, so I don't have to keep moving it. Normally, I would turn it up 8 inches and down half for a 3 or 4 inch hem. But due to it being shorted in the shipping, the cutting of the shipping, or whatever they did, didn't sand everything, I am doing 6 inches and turning down 2, which will be fine. And I'll press out the rest of this when I table it. And I clean a lot. When I'm doing fabric drapes, I sweep and clean washing machines and do stuff a lot because you work with a lot of light colored stuff and different things, so you don't want strings on them, you don't want dirt on them, you don't want grease on them, so you have to keep everything clean because it's going to be showcased. So I turn that one time, make sure it loops down and it's caught. And I just do little sections at a time, and I always hold the back. And it just kind of feeds itself through. It's got a little walking foot that walks across it. And that looks really nice. Actually, I could loosen it just a little bit more. So if you need to adjust, you can adjust while you're doing it, if it does. That's just up to you. From now on, since I've got it where I know it needs to be, where's my 4-inch hem? So since it's where it needs to be, I can come over here and pretty much everything is going to be similar to this type of fabric. I shouldn't have to adjust it. I may have to move it more or less, just a hair, but not much. The only time I have to really adjust it now is if I go to a sheer fabric or like an upholstery fabric. But this is a lot faster than sewing by hand, believe me. And I say by hand fast, but not this fast. This is 2 widths, 54 inches wide, maybe 56, but I think it's just 54. Simple, easiest machine to use. It just takes a little time and patience to adjust it out. Nothing hard. Anybody can do it. Easy peasy. Bottom, or to the end, you take and pull that loop off and loosen that. Grab that loop, clip that, and you pull that loop through so it won't undo, because if you don't do that, it'll pull all out and you'll have to redo it. So let's get to the next one. I have stuff all over these black pants. I got a game later tonight. And I gotta work concession stand for the varsity boys. I have to go change clothes. And when you use the pressure foot, it lifts all that up and it lays down. There's teeth there, and there's a little center that's open that goes by. That's a guide. And you kind of hold it up a little bit too to help. So now I need to make a mark for 110 inches long on my table, and then I'll start tabling them. So this line right here is 110 inches. So I'll just lay it even there. And I usually have like some different pins, so it's kind of like, I guess, thumbtacks, but they're bigger at the end, easier to push, but they kind of make bigger holes, so I don't like them, so I just use my regular florist pins here. Get our lining. The side that I sewed will go down, so we go wrong side spacing. And I'll put the seams together and then go out. And I usually stack my seams on top because you do a double 3-inch hem in your linings, but since I done a single hem and it's blackout, I done a single 4-inch hem so it hang nicely. So when you do a double 3, your 3-inch hem would be even with this, and it would be like an inch. So if I want it to hang really nicely, so I'm just gonna pull it up an inch, and my hems won't match at the top. I just want it to look really nice and full. And I'll put my pins on my sleeves there. I just put a few in them. They have to be pointed that way or it'll pull out. Okay, the this is the top of my pinch plate. So we need ruler, some pins, scissors, marker, and 4-inch crinoline. And again, in case you fast forward and didn't see, our fabric was cut a little short from the supplier, and due to them wanting this pretty quickly, I cut out 4 pieces to make it work. So I didn't have an extra 4 inches to turn over like I would normally have. But with this having blackout lining, you won't never see that it's a little short or anything. So I had it like 2 inches. And like I say, I like to have it a good 4 inches. I usually say 5 inches, and then I'll kind of cut some off to have a little extra. But this time I barely got my 2 inches. But I do sew really well on my pleats, and I have to sew ever so many inches, and then to tack in my little 2-finger pleats, it's not going anywhere. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and roll this off. I don't like it to be hanging down there and rolling around. It makes a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and measure off how long 2 of these would be and cut it. And then I'll lay it down there and have it for later on my other one. So here's that. I'll start it right here with a pin. Seam took up a little bit more. Then you take this and roll it down. And you want it about 1/4 of an inch from the top. You don't want it too much, but you don't want it showing from the front. So you make sure it's about 1/4 of an inch like that. About 1/4 of an inch going all the way across, and that's where I will put my pleats in, sew down 4 inches, and that will make a pleat. You make loose pleats, French pleats, goblets, anything that you need with crinoline. So now let's put our side hems in. I'll start down here in the bottom so you can see. Tape measure again. Need to iron. I can't even think today. But I have a line there, so it makes it easier and quicker. You don't have to keep measuring. Okay. And now we'll just turn under again. Press it down, and I'll just have a 1/2 inch seam, and then I'll put my weight in there as I'll hand tack this part, but the hammer will hem the rest of that. So I hand hem across here and here up to about right here. The hammer will do the rest, and then at the top where my crinoline is, I'll hem about that much. I've always done everything by myself, but for a while my sister helped me, and she'd do tabling. And it was nice when we started to fold things to have somebody help me fold. I love to have somebody help me fold. But she was really good at folding stuff by herself. She was like excellent at it. I just don't like folding. So I pull it until I get to that edge. Then I come over here, which it's not quite. I'll put it on the edge here and then start pinning back that way. And I just repeat the same process that I did over there, but it's just gonna be on this side. So everything that's gonna have to be pulled back, and I'm just gonna do it on this way. And then we have one more panel for the other side, and we'll do the same process that we did to this. And then we'll get to the part that you figure the pleats. They have to be figured, and it can be kind of confusing. It may take me a little bit because it's kind of backwards in the way you figure. It's all math, of course. And then once you get them all figured and pinned in, then it's time to sew. So, you can pull it. It's even on my line here, so I know it's straight. I tabled it straight, and that is a good thing. If you get it done over here and your line is off, you better do some refiguring calculations because something is wrong. But you see, I'm on my line here, I'm on my line up there, so my drapery will be straight. And that's what I want. Now, let's get this part straight. So again, I'm going to turn the lining under inside, leaving 1/4 of an inch. And you get more jobs and more work by people recommendations, especially in this type of work. I have never had to advertise. I have never had to put out cards or do anything before. It's just by word of mouth. They find out you do this, or at least here in South Mississippi. I don't know how it is in other states and cities or anything like that, but here, if they find out you sew, make drapes, and they've seen your work, they're gonna call you and they will stick with you until you retire or die. And I'm probably one of the youngest ones doing this. There may be one more that's around my age, but pretty much I'm 45 years old. I started this when I was 13. The lady that taught me, she's retired. Once in a while she might make something, but her health's not good. A lot of the ladies that she used to sew with and go out and eat and do things, several of those passed away. It's sad. I was a teenager and go eat with them, and I had a lot of fun. Very enjoyable. Learned different techniques with them, but they're gone. I don't know if I'm gonna get this completely done today. I was gonna get it done in one day and start on the Roman shades too, but kids and life happen. So yesterday I didn't get very far with this, and I had to go home, get children ready, cook and all that, and get ready for church. And then today was notified I still needed a few more Christmas gifts for some people. And then we have a basketball game tonight. Well, we got four basketball games, but 3 that my children ran. And then I'm running the concession stand on one of them, the last one. So I'll have to leave a little early. So this may be put on the back burner and I'll get back onto it tomorrow. But that'll be okay. It's a good thing about working on your own. I can work around and still spend time with my family and do the things I need to do. And something else I need to make, so y'all can see, is bedding, pillows, pillow shams, dusters, stuff like that. If it's smaller items, I may just do giveaways, like, because I don't need some of the stuff, and if it's something I don't need or doesn't match, I'll just make it and let y'all comment and give it away, I guess. Now I need to repeat the process of what I've done to this one panel, which is 2 widths of fabric that's 54 inches wide, to get the crinoline in, so this can be some pinch pleats. And I'm not going to video it because it's just the same process, and I think the longer my videos are, people probably don't want to watch them. So I'm just going to undo this and start over and do it again, and I'll bring you back when I start my next step. Now it's time for hemming the sides. And I'll do that about 1 number less. We'll try it. It may need to adjust a little bit. We'll just see what happens. We just don't want it to kick up all the way through. It's just this is a little bit thicker because we have the lining in with this. It's looking pretty nice. Like I say, once you get it adjusted, it usually does pretty well. Really nice. That looks good. I like that. Now to hem the other 2 sides and lay these face to face. Lay face to face. So we need 3.5 inch returns. (2 inches). Now we need to take that have, which is 99.25 on each one. And this window's 110 inches, and then we need some play and looseness in it. Okay. So we have 99.25 each. So that would be enough that I can sew that. Okay, let's try that. We're gonna start out with a pleat, and then space, pleat, space, pleat, space, and put that one. I always put my pins in like that, and then come back out, and then go back in. That way it doesn't cut you. It still can poke up and get you sometimes, but normally it won't. This is 4-inch crinoline, so we sew down 4 inches. All of my pinch pleats has always been 4 inches, as long as I've been sewing. Add another one of those. Throw the end, the back. Start from the right side. You handy little 6-inch roller. And you just make sure everything's nice and smooth. Take out your first few pins that you need. Put those first 2 together here. Make sure it's even. With the presser foot, I go where it shows 4 inches. I measure here with 1 3/4, so I go down here to 1 3/4, and I eyeball it. I've been doing it for a long time, even though a few years I'm out, but I do measure and do a lot of work when it comes to cutting boards and remodel work. I back tack really good at that end and this end. It's really even that way. So there's my first pleat. Okay, so a 2-finger pleat, you just go in, make sure your line is separated in there. You will flatten it out completely, and it's just, make it even. It's got to be really even. You can't stand a pleat that's not even. And you go down, and I go about 1/4 of an inch up, 3 3/4, and I will tack it. Good with the same color thread. I start my knot up in there so you don't see it, and I'll show you that too if I get a chance. But there's loose pleats that can be 2-finger, and you tack them up here so they look loose. I may kind of show you all that later. It's fine. So then we pull out these pins, which is fine. I'm sewing all this together, so it's going to hold all this down now. So it's going to skip that area, which is our space, because we need 60 inches to cover. And then we put our next 2 pins together. Make sure, and as long as you've tabled it, everything should match up and look straight and flat. We go over here. I can feel where my crinoline is, I know approximately. But I go ahead and like to know exactly. It should be around 1 3/4. It's not always, especially if you have to adjust it out sometimes. It may be a little off, but do whatever your pin says, because you need to let's back tack and sew. And if you need to, you can have one of those magnetic things that's kind of so long and you kind of move it every time and do that. But I don't worry about that. Not on this. But I do back tack. I have got to jobs before. I used to help hang, and you start doing something and this is coming undone already, or in the back, how you see where this is. I've seen them coming undone there, and I cannot stand to see that. You saw a back tack. That's why I back tack. I can't stand to go on a job and see it coming undone. I mean, that looks bad for the seamstress and on her name, his name. It looks bad. If the customer takes it down to have them dry clean and they see that, I mean, it looks tacky and it's not going to hold up. So I like to be professional about it and sew it together. If I'm going to sew it, I need to sew it and make it look right. And this is another reason I trim everything. I just don't like to have to go back and try to trim it later. I like to know that all my strings are trimmed. Even though I will be tacking all this later, I just double check why I am sewing, make sure I did trim all my strings. You don't want something hanging and it has strings. So we skip another one and we just keep throwing that over, and it won't pull or anything like that, or it shouldn't. I've done many widths in a row. Whew. I've done some probably, I don't know, like 180 something inches long for a bank in a small town that was an antique. Well, it wasn't antique. It was just an old bank. Whew, that was a job. A lot of sewing, a lot of pulling. So we measure our 4 inches. It's still around the same. Maybe an 1/8 off, but it's okay. It needs to fit our window properly. That's what custom drapes is. It's custom fit. Yep. Go again. So you can kind of see how that looks and how the back looks. It's all even. It's really nice. It's going to hang really pretty. I think this is something that I want to really do in my house, is this type of fabric. I'm not for sure. And I'm thinking this color, I kind of wanted white, but with my walls and stuff, I think I may need something about like this. I don't think it'll hurt either color. And I may back tack a little overkill, but I've just seen too many seamstresses not do it, and I really don't want mine to fall apart and look tacky. Okay, pull those out. We're going to skip another one. Go to the next one, and you just keep kind of rolling it over down here as you go, and that helps it pull in too. This up here so you can see what it looks like. Whoop, the trash can. So you saw earlier it was linked to the table almost with the so now it's supposed to be 60 inches. But I need to make sure before I sew the other one. You never start sewing any until you know that you have your 60 inches. Let's back you up so you can see. So we have our return. When I say return, that goes back to the wall. And then we have our little center where they lap over. Let me get my tape measure. And we should have 60 inches. It is just right. So, now it's time to get a knuckle done. And then I'm going to run this one up and down until I figure out if I'm going to go ahead and do it tonight or not. And I don't hem these until I get them folded because, and you don't put the pleats in until you get them folded because it makes it hard to fold. Right now you can kind of pull this and you see how it kind of pulls. You can fold your pleats. But if you put your pleats in there, or like tack them in, it makes it harder. So. Not be able to get wrinkled. And let's get this done. I'll be really close to being finished. I put a lot of pins in, take a lot of pins out. There's the back side. There's the front side. So we have a pair of drapes. Almost. Still has the folding. And the tacking on the corners and the tacking on the tops. But I could probably have that done in about an hour. So, like I said, they're really pretty. Hello. I'm back trying to clean up. My daughter, or my oldest daughter, Faith, was making a quilt, like a rag quilt. This thicker fabric was on the back of it, so made a mess. And we kind of had a emergency in it. I was trying to help her sew some of the pieces together, and when you have 3 pieces of fabric and 3 pieces of fabric, and then they needed to go together, it's pretty thick, and I didn't think about this being a thick fabric, and the needle broke, went through my finger. I haven't sewed through my fingers since I was like 13. So we had to stop. We didn't get to finish her quilt. I didn't get to clean up or do anything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm back over here. And we actually got all that on video. Well, I think. I don't know. I haven't been back and watched it. I'm scared. Michaela Faith wanted me to save it and stuff, but I don't know if I want to put it on here because I'm a big baby and there's no telling what I said or done or how I acted. She thought it was funny. I didn't. But anyway, that's another story. I got the pinch pleats folded and tied up with the centers together. That way I can hem the bottoms and put weights in each side. And then I'm going to hand tack the tops and hand sew the sides and finish them. I'm going to show you how I do the pleats. So before I move that over, because that is white fabric, I've got to get all this cleaned up. Because when I finish them, I'm going to tie them up in a bag, lay them to the side because I have Roman shades, 2 of them to make out of that same fabric. Let me get this finished and I'll show you how I do my pleats. Come pick this in and carry it over there. Pick it up with 2 hands. Pull against me. And let's put it right here. A little bit over, straight. Down, pull down. There. That way I don't have room. I need to lock this table back. Okay, thank you, Samuel. Let's hand tack the bottoms. That's really thick. The hammer can't go over. And while we're doing that, we're going to put these weights. You can sew through this side, and the weights are in plastic. So here's one of the seams. I will clip this. I'll start it in this corner on the underside where my knot does not show. Make sure everything looks good. I turn mine up and kind of miter it so it does not. Sorry. Spam callers, that happens a lot. But I miter mine under. You don't have to, but I like to. I think it kind of looks neat. And just kind of take a little piece, just come in and tack it, go under, come out, go in, take a little bitty section. Wherever you come out at, go right back in, and you won't never see your thread if you go in and out the same section above and below. And this is Blackout lining, so it's a little rubbery and a little bit harder to penetrate, but it's not too bad. And I'm making it far enough up that when I put my weight in here, it'll kind of dangle. Okay, so I'm just going to loop mine through, put it in, push it down to my little mitered area there, and then I'm going to keep sewing. And it'll just get sewed in and it won't go anywhere. There's no right way, wrong way. You can do it however you'd like, or however you do it. I usually sew it up here to where it stops here, but I usually go a little bit further and loop it under one of the hammer's loops and tie it off there, just in case one ever decided to come loose. It's just something I do. Up under there, come out somewhere in the fabric. Voila, that's it. I got a hem finished with a weight. So then I turn that back under, make it look neatly again. And then I got to go to the middle one and do it. Then the other two. So we have 4 tops and bottoms to finish like we did down there, but these have crinoline in them. And I'll just sew up here and there, and I'll sew further down there. But I'll do that in just a moment. I want to go ahead and show you how I do the butterfly pleats, which is, some call them 2-finger pleats, but I call them butterfly pleats. I think that's more of the proper name. I don't know if you can see, but there's the lining in there. So I try to get in the middle of the pleat, press it down, and you do it about halfway because you need these pleats to be even. I do not like to look at pleats. I don't care if they're French pleats, whatever. I want all of them even. So you want to make sure that your pleats are even across here. And then they're even here, which I sewed them even, so they're going to be even here. But you want them even across here. So this is a butterfly pleat, which is 2. If you sew them on the top, that's a loose pleat. If you sew them down here, that's going to be your French, not French pleat, but butterfly pleat. This is 4 inches down, so I go 3 3/4 is where I stick my needle, and I like to go in right here and come out, so my knot will be inside the pleat and you will never see it. And that way I'm catching my crinoline and it will hold very well. You go in on this side, back through that side, and you go around several times. I don't know, I have a certain amount of times I kind of go, but I kind of eyeball mine. I don't know, it's by looks. That's 2. After I put the, 3. Let's just say 4 times. And then I'll show you how I end it. Then you hold that up. I go around it twice. Pull it where it comes down on this side. And then I go in there, go back out through the middle, and clip it. And you will never see it. I don't know if you can see. It kind of gets grainy. So there's my pleat. That is a butterfly pleat. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 24 of these to sew up. And then 4 of these hands. I'll go ahead and do one more for you. And then I'll kick off the camera because I know y'all probably don't care if y'all see, oh my goodness, she's got an hour video. We're not gonna watch that one. I don't know. Y'all leave a comment what y'all like or don't like. It would help me out because I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to videos. Okay, remember to keep these even. I go about 3 3/4. Start it from the inside. I don't like to see any knots or threads, just the little bit that I tack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can go back through there like that and pull it out on the other side and flip it. You never see it either. So, I mean, they're really simple. They don't take that long to do. Okay. Butterfly, pleated drapes are finished. Hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.